I built software in 48 hours that you can white label for yourself almost immediately after this video. And I'm gonna show you everything I did from A to Z. So first things first, how is it even possible that I built a software in 2 days? Mainly no code. I run a software development agency where we leverage no-code software to build custom tools for businesses to help them scale. And with no-code specifically, it's never been easier to build your own software, right? You don't have to spend 50 grand or wait 6 months. It can be done within weeks, and that's what we do. So what did I actually build? I built a coaching platform, something like school.com or Kajabi, because I was going through a Kajabi course, and I despise Kajabi so much, mainly because I think it's one of the most laziest ways to get a course out there. So I thought of, why not build this? So I gave myself a challenge, right? 2 days, let's build it out, let's see what happens. Why is having a custom coaching platform beneficial for your business? Everyone offers the same thing, everyone has a course, and the trust of today's prospects is at a long time low. And I personally think that if you have, a simple custom platform for your clients, it's more of a personalized feeling, and you kind of essentially immediately stand out, right? There's going to be a whole tutorial on how to actually use it and implement it in just 15 minutes, I believe. Make sure to check that out. It's going to be documented in the description. And lastly, this video is going to be in 2 parts. So I'm going to show you what the software is, and then I'm going to get to the nitty-gritty of how I actually built the software for those who are, developers themselves. So let's get into it. So this is the platform. I had many ideas in mind, but I just came up, or there are many things. I'm going to get into that later on, why some things didn't happen and why some things did. But this is essentially the platform, right? So I'm logged in as an admin, but you as a user will see all the programs, right? Then you have obviously settings, your favorite videos, notes, settings. And if your coaching platform is like a monthly subscription, a person can manage their subscription. Very, very simple. Let's open up this course, for example. So you open up this course. Just information about the course, like it's very straightforward, right? About the program, modules, lessons, your progress. This is what it looks like when you're on a lesson, right? Modules, very straightforward. In terms of the admin panel, again, you can create a new course, you can publish it, delete it, and edit. Now, every course has modules, and those modules have lessons, right? So right here, you can create a module. You can reorder videos, right? Like there's many things you could do. So it's safe. And obviously, yeah, lesson title, video type, video source, cover image, is it public, is it not? And stuff like that. There's many things you could do. And in terms of white labeling or using this template, if you want, there's gonna be a whole tutorial about it. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. But it's essentially, you'll change your colors of your software or of your brand, and then stripe. Like it's very simple, straightforward. In terms of the video type, again, I'm gonna get into this later, but you have only option to YouTube and Vimeo, mainly due to the fact that this is a template for everyone to use, right? This could be done with a simple make automation, but this is for everyone, right? So I cannot do that. So yeah, I mean, it's very straightforward. Last thing I could have gone for, it could be built in like just a couple of hours, but I was really focused on the design. Hopefully, I mean, that's for you to judge if the design looks good, right? But I could build something very fast, but it wouldn't look good, right? Like I just didn't want the application to look like it was built in 2 days, right? What an irony, but mainly I was just focused on, okay, how is this gonna look like? And is this gonna be user-friendly, attractive to, look essentially. So now we're in the second part of actually getting to the nitty-gritty, right? It was fast, right? 2 days, not a lot of time, but it was the most frustrating 2 days of my life. As I've mentioned, like I had some ideas in mind of how I would build this platform, how it would look like, database structure, functionality. And the first thing I did was obviously follow my own advice, right? I made a video on ultimate guide or, building from A to Z, and I took my advice. I would classify myself as a very experienced Bubble developer, right? I built many applications, but I've came across a lot of new scenarios or situations or problems that I have to solve, right? And I just want to point out something. You have to have the mentality that there's always something you could learn, because I've come across so many new things, and it was frustrated. It wasn't easy, but you learn, you struggle, you learn, you get better, you build better applications, right? So I just want you to have this type of a mindset. Again, last thing, it could be built literally in a few hours, but there's a whole stigma around no code that it looks ugly, and I did not want that to happen. So essentially, more of the time, it took me like, okay, how is it going to look like? Is it going to be responsive? The whole application is responsive, maybe not for mobile phones, but it's responsive. Quickly, I just want to say that the application is actually responsive for all devices, because I had some troubles with Bubble approving my template because it wasn't responsive. So just heads up for those who are actually trying to create a template and submit for Bubble. Just make sure it's responsive. You provide as many details as you can, and in your documentation and stuff like that. So yeah, but let's get straight to the video. Right, so if you have a bigger screen, smaller screen, it's going to be responsive. So yeah, let's look at the wireframes. What I had in mind was essentially school, right? But again, nicer and cleaner design. There's gonna be a link in the description first off for the whole document, but you'll have links to Figma, Miro board, so you can check it out for yourself. But this is a quick look of the wireframe. So in terms of the color palette, I didn't go crazy. Our agency's colors plus blue. Don't know why. I don't know. And essentially what I went for, right? The homepage, I wanted to look at like this, but I'm gonna get into why it didn't work that way. So this was essentially the homepage, and then you have the course, right? Then you have the lesson, a view, all programs, very simple. I just wanted to get the feeling of how it's gonna look like. In terms of the logic, very simple. Again, nothing crazy. You have user logs in, goes to all programs, then go to the course, module, right? Settings, same thing with admin, right? Very, very simple and straightforward. How we can help if you have something in mind in terms of a custom software solution. This is what we do. We'll build you a custom software solution in less than a couple of weeks. And like, you don't have to pay 6 figures or wait 9 months just to see the first version. So if you're interested, check out our website or schedule a free discovery call, 15-minute discovery call to talk about your project. So if you're interested, here it is, but let's continue. So the database structure, right, guys? This is where I screwed up. Even though I followed my own advice, it took me like 15 minutes just to, sketch out the database because I had something in mind. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. This looks good. However, I was very wrong. Why? So let's look at the database, right? Let's look at Miro. And this was initially what I built, right? So we have obviously the user, course, module, video, notes, right? And what I thought would be a good idea is to include essentially the user can make notes on the video or the lesson, can favorite the lesson, can complete the lesson, right? And I thought this was enough, but it wasn't. Why? So let's say you have 100 users and there's in the database, right? In the database, you have 100 users and one course that consists of a couple of modules, and modules consist of a couple of lessons. However, it's just like one course, right? So one course has assigned 100 users, right? So let's say, and I think this could work, definitely, but there wouldn't be any personal experience for a prospect or for a client. Why? So let's say you're on a lesson and you like the lesson, great, or you complete it, or you want to take notes. In terms of completion of the lesson, it's very simple, right? Or here's watched, but like completed yes or no field. So if it's completed, just check it yes. However, if you have 100 users clicking the yes or no, there's going to be, if one user clicks yes, it's going to be yes for all of those users, right? And there are two ways to go about this, right? You could either, when someone signs up, there's going to be in the database, it's going to create the whole course, and it's going to be just assigned to that user, which is not, in my personal opinion, it's not good for the performance, right? Because you would have to, let's say you have 100 users and there would be 100 different courses. Hopefully this makes sense. Sometimes, like, I got confused as well. So you would have to, that's like the first way. And I think it would be too complicated because like if the admin wanted to change the course, if he wanted to change the course, like it would be so unnecessary with the workflows and everything. But this is what I set up, right? So I started building. And halfway through the application, I wanted to build, as we have here, admin, settings, right? Favorite videos, notes. I want to build this logic. And this is where I came across. Like, the database is just wrong. It took me like 45 minutes just to realize I could ask ChatGPT, right? I believe in this video or the latest one, I talked about using Bubble Forum or ChatGPT if you're just lost. And it took me 45, I don't know why, it took me 45 minutes just to ask. So I went to ChatGPT and literally explained my situation from A to Z, and it gave me some great tips, right? However, if you want ChatGPT to help you, your situation has to be described in very detail, right? Otherwise, you'll get some generic, not helpful response, right, from ChatGPT. So I got a couple of ideas, and still, it just was frustrating and confusing for me. Like, okay, but how do I implement it in Bubble, right? So I got a couple of tips from ChatGPT, and this is what I got, right? So obviously the same thing. We have user, course, module, lesson. And then we have user course and user lesson. And user course and user lesson are specifically tied to the prospect or to the client, right? So if a client wants to, or if a member wants to complete the lesson and just, yes and no field, or favorite lesson, or take notes on the lesson, lesson is going to be tied to user lesson, and user lesson is going to be tied to user, right? Hopefully this makes sense. I was confused as well. So I built this very simple database structure, but still I was very confused how I would implement this in my Bubble app. And one thing I want to point out is when you build applications or automations, right? It's not just about doing the wireframe branding and database structure. Like you have to actually use your brain and think. So I got some tips from ChatGPT. I built this in Miro, and I was like, okay, well, how do I implement it? And I'm telling you guys, it took me literally 3 hours to figure it out. Once, after 3 hours, it kind of clicked, and I started building and I continued with my project. But what I did to get to the point where it actually clicked, I literally lay down on my bed, closed my eyes, and started thinking and using my brain, right? And this is what you have to do sometimes. Yeah, this is what you have to do, literally, and it takes brain power and you burn calories, right? But like you have to think everything through, right? Very simple. So I built this database, and then I was literally so confused. I was like, okay, so admin creates a course that has 2 modules, 6 lessons, right? And then a member then assigns to a user course, right? Like I was so confused. I believe this helped me the most, which is kind of ridiculous, but this helped me the most, right? Just understand exactly how they work. So now we're in Bubble, and essentially the first, thoughts where I wanted to create a course, right? So a prospect or a client can view many courses. Then I wanted to create like a calendar functionality. Then also community, people can comment on the course or create posts, exactly like in school. And community, right? A lot of people use community, such as Discord or Slack. You can actually implement that in this application. But like this is what I had in mind. However, I was just so confused with this that it took me a lot of time to just figure it out. And I was like, I have only 2 days, so hopefully like this is just enough for some personal experience. But yeah, so what I had to create from the wireframes, so we have obviously login, sign up page, then we have admin sign up. And here's a workflow. If you sign up as an admin, it's gonna be a workflow. If there's more than 1 admin, anyone that gets onto this page, it redirects them back to the index page, right? Or the login page. Then we have obviously the platform, right? So in this platform, we have all the courses and the account, right? Then we have another page which is specifically to the course, right? So course program, and then we have groups, module, and lesson. And lastly, we have admin page where you actually create those courses, right? In terms of let's look at the database as well. Once again, what I had in mind was the YouTube or like the link to the video would be. So you have what? You have Loom, you have Vimeo, you have YouTube, you have your own file, then you have withe, right? And Bubble, at this current moment, they offer only, so when you go down here, there should be like a file uploader, I don't know, yeah, video right here. And if you drop it on the page, which I'm gonna delete, but you have only option for YouTube and Vimeo, right? And this could be done with a simple automation in Make, where you upload. It's very different and specific to your case, right? I mean, this is a template for a lot of people, so I had to just use Vimeo and YouTube. So right now, I was building, the platform. I mean, this functionality and everything was pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy. Courses as well, like nothing crazy. You create, a drop-down menu for modules, the design, repeating groups. Everything is, linked to a parent group, stuff like that. You can look at the workflows here. I mean, that's for you to just look at it. But then I was like, okay, well, someone has to create a course, right? And you cannot do that from a database. So, or like from internal Bubble database, right? If you were to go to app data and start and create a new course and everything, like there has to be an admin dashboard to create those courses, right? So this was something, bro. This was something. I've never built anything like this. I mean, I did, but not in this extent. And as a user, as an admin, again, this is very simple. All programs, right? You can create a program or a course, and it's going to populate in this field. But then you have to edit the course, right? So you can create a module. Like I said, modules have lessons. And in this, and again, it was a lot of the time, it was just the UI. But then we had to bring out the functionality of drag and drop. So in school, when you create a course, you create a module, you can drag and drop the videos. Because like sometimes, you create a module and boom, this module should be first instead of the second place, right? Same thing with lessons. I mean, getting started, introduction, maybe, you know what I mean. So as an admin, let's quickly look at how it looks like from an admin standpoint or perspective. So let's say I go to how to use Bubble. I don't know, just the dummy data. And I'm here. How to use Bubble, right? So I can edit the course, the cover image, then I can edit the module, same thing here, and then we have the lesson, right? But let's say in intro part 1, 3, 2, boom. I need the second part to be second, right? Reorder, take it, and drop it in here. Right? Boom, now it's reordered, and it's gonna be in the same order for the member as well, right? So that was the whole functionality I had to build. Same thing with modules, right? You take module and you drop it in here, right? Boom. So like this was the function I had to build. I've never built drag and drop in Bubble, and a great I'm gonna link in the description or in the document probably. I watched a great YouTube video. Sorry, I don't know the name's the guy's name, but awesome tutorial. And I literally use draggable elements, and you can look at the whole tree in this group. Let's see. So yeah, like it's very much in detail. If I show everything, like there's so much. You can just look at it and see how it was built. In terms of the workflows, this was something, right? Like if you're a beginner, this might be just too confusing for you, but these are the conditions and workflows you have to do in order to make it functional and stuff like that. So be sure to check that out. And the last thing, obviously creating the workflow for the admin, for the member to sign up, right? And I had this problem, a huge problem, where so we have a course, then we have module, then we have lessons, and then we have user course, and then we have user lesson, right? So we have to create a couple of workflows, because what you don't build in Bubble, like it's not going to be there. It's simple as that. So let's look at the login page, or no, let's go to register. This is a sign up page. So when a user signs up, they sign up, right? But when they are in this view, they'll see all the programs that the admin built and published, right? And they're going to be locked. So they have to unlock it, right? Because I couldn't think of a better way. It would be too complicated, and maybe I just didn't have enough time to really dig deep on maybe the best way. But this is what I came up with. So the user signs up and hits click a course or unlock a course. And now it's unlocked. Obviously, I don't have anything in there, so it's going to be empty, but they have to unlock the course. And when they hit unlock, there's a whole backend workflow. These are backend workflows I had to build to assign and create user course data type, user lesson data type, and assign them back to the course and everything. Be sure to check that out, because this is very interesting. Because honestly, this took me a long time. So that was the first thing, right? I mean, assigning user to a created course already, it's not that difficult, but what was difficult or confusing at first was doing the same thing for admin, right? So when an admin, let's look at it, how it will even look like. So let's say you created a course, right? You created 4 modules, 10 lessons, whatever. And now you want to add a lesson or a module, right? So let's hop into this. We'll create a module, module name, module, blah, 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 right? And you create a module. Now, this course has an extra module that is not assigned to the user, or it is assigned to this course, to the course data type. I'm getting confused myself as well, but this module is assigned to the course. However, it has no relation to the member, right? So when I hit add a video, so I add a new lesson or new lesson, now the lesson is not tied to anyone, right? We have members that are assigned to the course, but we don't have user lessons tied to this lesson specifically, right? So the user cannot make notes, they cannot favorite the video, they cannot complete, right? So there has to be whole backend workflow, which is essentially, let me see, create a new lesson from admin, right? So we create a new lesson. It's very simple. Make changes to a module, right? Because it's the module, the lesson is tied to a module, right? But then we have to schedule another workflow to create user lessons and assign them to the user. And this was something. So obviously, create user, and you have to pass through a bunch of values, right? And yeah, so essentially let me see. So you do a search for, this is backend workflows, but if we go here, let me just see where it is exactly. You have a course, start edit. Yeah, and you add a lesson. So now you schedule the backend workflow, and now you're passing through a bunch of values you need to make the workflow or the backend work, essentially, right? And you're passing through, what are you passing through? The parents group module, then the count, and then you passing through members that are assigned to the course, right? And you're making changes to them. So therefore, if there's a new lesson, so tutorial, right? And now you change this, let's do Vimeo, let's, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know. And let's upload the cover image. And then you publish it. Let's see, yeah, and then you make it public. Now the user can see it, but if there wasn't this backend workflow that assigns and creates the user lesson data type, they wouldn't be able to mark it as complete, take notes, etc. So this is essentially what I did. It was very confusing at first, really, but I could have just said, F this and continue with my day and make something that does not work, but I didn't, right? So just think, guys, when you lost, just think. And lastly, what I had to build was just a simple Stripe integration when a user signs up. So when they click this button, it's going to sign them up, subscribe them, create a bunch of things. Very simple as well, but you just have to configure, the Stripe plugin. Again, if you want to use this platform, there's going to be a whole tutorial on how to set it up. It's not that hard, but if you want, well, the great thing about this custom platform, I mean, it's essentially it's for subscriptions, right? But if you wanted to do just a checkout page, you could do that as well. If you want to give the access to clients that are already in your program, right? It's not like a subscription; it's maybe like a high-ticket program. You can give them a link to this and just delete the sign up for Stripe. Like, there's many things you could do, but this was the best way, or I thought would be, for someone to set it up, right? Couple of clicks, maybe change the brand colors. So like if I was to go to styles and start changing those colors, the whole application would change the colors, right? Because everything is assigned to something. So yeah, obviously name of the company. Again, I'm using my agency's logo, but you can put your logo there. But if you actually like this color branding style, like the black, the dark platform, you can use this as well. It's really up to you. So yeah, guys, hopefully I did not make you too confused. I was confused very much. And yeah, this is pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed. Comment anything. If you like, subscribe, stuff like that. The link to the coaching platform and template and tutorial is going to be in the description. So make sure to check that out. Other than that, yeah, it was a pleasure, guys. Thank you, and hopefully you enjoyed. Bye.